after completely neglecting my van for a little while, I finally have some time to do an oil change on it. So today I'm going to show you how to do an oil change on your D5 Delica. Now my van is a 2007 version with a 4V12 2.4 liter 4-cylinder MyVec engine under the hood. To do the oil change, obviously we're going to need some oil, so I've gone out and picked up 5 liters of 5W30, but you can also use 5 or 0W20. Really up to you. 530 is easier for me to obtain, so that's what I've got. Obviously, we're going to need an oil filter too. I picked up the oil filter for a 4-cylinder Mitsubishi Outlander. It's a little bit smaller, but the sealing ring is exactly the same, and the thread pitch is the same, so it shouldn't be a problem. Later on, maybe if I can find a direct match, I'll start using it, but for now, this is going to do just fine. Aside from the parts, we're also going to need some tools. This is probably going to be one of the most important ones that you need. I don't care how good you think you are at pouring oil into an engine, you're not doing it on this van without a funnel. The longer, the better. You could use something like this, but I'm actually going to use a transmission funnel like this one right here. You're also going to need some kind of filter wrench. Now you can use a strap wrench on there. It works. It's a little more awkward. I prefer this guy here. It's a nice little 3-jaw unit that attaches onto my ratchet, and it gets up in there nice and easy. Just makes the job a bit simpler. To drain the oil, you're going to need a 17mm wrench to get the plug off, and then obviously you're going to need some kind of drain pan as well to catch all of the old oil. Before starting the oil change, I like to take the cap off and already have it ready, and then I like to take the dipstick and kind of pull it out halfway. This way I have a visual reminder that there's no oil in the vehicle, and I can't do something dumb like start it with no oil. So now we can go ahead and get the vehicle up in the air. Obviously I have a lift, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. For those of you that do it on the ground, make sure you put jack stands underneath the vehicle. Don't just do it on the jack. Play it safe. It's not worth your life. With the van up in the air, we have easy access to the drain plug, which is located at the back of the oil pan. So we're going to take a 17mm and just knock that loose. Then we'll drain out the oil. I should probably also mention it's best to have the vehicle at operating temperature when you're doing the oil change. That way the oil is nice warmed up and flows freely. Once all the oil is out, you can reinstall the drain plug, tighten it back down, and then wipe off any of the excess oil. Yes, there is a torque spec. Yes, you could torque it down if you want to, but nobody does, and I'm not going to either. Next, we can go ahead and remove the oil filter, which is located right at the front of the engine. Probably should have put the oil pan underneath this. Well, that was not the neatest oil filter removal I've ever done. Don't forget to wipe some oil onto the seal, and double check that this seal isn't still stuck on your filter housing from the old filter, because if you put 2 seals on, you can end up with a leak. Now, at this point, some people would preload the filter with oil. I don't do that, and it's not actually necessary, but if you really want to and make yourself feel better, go ahead and do it. Then we put it on, hand tight, don't crank it down. That's all we need, and we're good to go. And this is where I say you're gonna need a funnel, because that fill port is pretty much underneath the windshield. Helps to undo that, I guess. So we need to fill this to about 4.6 liters. I'm gonna put in about 4 right now, and then just check our level. So right now we're sitting right about at the full line, but we haven't actually started the vehicle up, which means the filter isn't full yet. So what I'm gonna do is put our cap back on. We're gonna fire it up for a few seconds to fill up the filter, and then we're gonna double check again. Now our level has come down the dipstick quite a bit, so we're gonna add another ½ liter, and we'll double check it one more time. I think I might actually have to do another oil change on this, because that oil is already looking pretty dark. After adding that ½ liter, we want to double check it one more time, so we can see that now we're right up to the full line, just like we want to be. All we need to do now is reset the service reminder. Of course, before I show you, consider hitting that like and subscribe. Yeah, it really helps me out. First thing we need to do is hop in the vehicle, and we're gonna scroll through our info button until we get to our service reminder. Once you're on this screen, push and hold the info. The wrench is going to start flashing. Once it's flashing, we're going to push this one more time. The screen should read clear, and that's it. You're good to go until next oil change. So hopefully that helped you out. If it did, consider checking out some of the other videos on the channel, and as always, get out in the shop and do something. We'll see you next time.